Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so what we have here is our midterm review sheet. This is the first one. I did make up a second one for you, which I will get to you guys tomorrow. But let's take a look at the one we have today. You will get some formula sheet as all our tests are for use in the midterm. There will be 3 sections on the midterm consisting of 20 multiple choice questions total. Foundation, distance formula, midpoint formula, segment addition, angle addition. Alright, distance formula really quick. Is as follows, and you do not need to memorize it, okay? Distance equals square root of the quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 the quantity squared. And your midpoint formula is the average of the x's and the average of the y's, right? Segment addition postulate and angle addition postulate take a look at soon. Right triangle Pythagorean theorem, again on formula sheet, the converse of the Pythagorean theorem, if a squared plus b squared is larger than c squared, it's acute, equals right and less than obtuse, and trig is SOHCAHTOA. As far as circles go, again, the only thing we're really going to ask you guys to do a little bit of is take a look at pretty much, I think it's this one right here, arc length and sector area, which we'll talk about momentarily. Okay? So here we go. Number 1, find the distance between the 2 points on the graph over here to the right. Well, they're giving you the points, 3, 2, 7, 8. I'm going to call this x1, y1, x2, y2. Now, distance formula, okay, is square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So we're looking at 7 minus 3 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 is 8 minus 2. Okay, so I've got 4 squared plus 6 squared. That gives me 16 plus 36, which gives me 42, 52. Okay, and I believe 52 we can do. Hang on, my calculator's firing up. It's root 4 times root 13, or 2 root 13. Boom. Okay, there's your distance. Nothing too crazy. As far as midpoint between those two, what we're taking a look at here is m equals, it's x sub 1 plus x sub 2, 3 plus 7 over 2, and then 8 plus 2 over 2, 10 divided by 2, 10 divided by 2, 5 comma 5. Okay, all's well. It's just midpoint formula. Both these formulas will be given to you. All right. Let me show you guys these next two just real quick as well. X sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. So I got 3 minus 2 squared plus 4 minus negative 6 squared. So we're looking at 1 squared plus 10 squared, which equals square root of 1 plus 100, which is square root of 101. That's all it is. If you can't reduce it down at all, which you can't for 101, I believe it's prime, you're done. Okay. Finally, midpoint for number 4. Midpoint equals, we got 2 plus 3 divided by 2, and then negative 6 plus 4 divided by 2. 5 over 2, negative 2 over 2, that reduces to 2.5 comma negative 1. You're all set. You can get a half, it's alright. Okay. Now, number 5, which goes to this picture over here, they're telling you the entire thing is 110. So this whole thing is 110 degrees. That means the 2 small angles can add up to equal 110. This is your angle addition postulate. 4x plus 2 plus 3x minus 7 equals 110. 7x minus 5 equals 110. Okay, divided by 7, we get, no, it's really hard to see in this one, but 115 divided by 7 gives me 16.42 or 16.43. Okay, we're all set. Or your answer could just be 115 over 7, either way. Number 6, find the angle, or find the measure of x if BC is 2 inches longer than AB. So I'm going to call AB x, and this is 2 inches longer, so I'm going to call it x plus 2. And the entire length is 32 inches. Okay, so I can do x plus 2 equals 32. Okay, again, this is just segment addition postulate. 2x plus 2 equals 32. Subtract 2 over 2x equals 30. X equals 15. Okay, 15 and 17 would be your answer there. All right, moving on to the back. Find the length of the rectangle or the length of the diagonal of the rectangle ABCD. This is just Pythagorean theorem. I could do 36 squared plus 18 squared equals x squared. Just to save a little bit of time here, I have the calculator, I will use it. 36 squared plus 18 squared gives me 1620. I know it's hard to see there, I apologize. X squared equals 1620. If I do square root of 1620, 40.25. Okay. If they break that down on the test, it's a multiple choice test. Okay. Do what we did like we talked about for the algebra keystone. Plug in square root of 1620, get 40.25, check all your answers, see which one equals that. Okay. What type of triangle, right, acute, or obtuse has side lengths with measures 22, 24, and 30? We're just plugging things into Pythagorean theorem converse. Here's your A, B, C. 22 squared plus 24 squared, see if it equals 30 squared. So I'm doing here 22 squared plus 24 squared, and then 30 squared is, so we got 1060 is greater than 900. So my A and my B squared add together is larger than my C squared. That makes this acute. Okay? An acute triangle. Number 9, find the length of the third side of a right triangle if the hypotenuse is 50 inches and one leg is 30 inch. So we're looking at something like this. One leg's 30, the hypotenuse is 50, and I'm trying to find that. It's just x squared plus 30 squared equals 50 squared. I have to do 50 squared minus 30 squared. I get x squared equals 1600. Square root the answer. X equals 40, 40 inches. There we go. Okay. Alright, find the missing measures in each right triangle below by using trig. So I can find OG for the first one by doing Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus 7 squared equals 18 squared. Again, I'm going to go do 18 squared minus 7 squared. I get x squared equals 275. Square root left, square root right. 16.58. Okay, good. Now I want to find either D or G. I'm going to go with D. This is your opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. I want to try and use the ones that make them like, the nicest numbers. So I'm going to use A and H. Don't forget so, ka, toa. So cosine of D equals A over H, 7 over 18. This is when I'm doing the second cosine. Oop, I gotta make sure I'm in degree mode, which, there we go. Second cosine, 7 over 18, 67.11, or 67.1 degrees. And to find the other one, I'm just going to do 90 minus 67.1, 22.9. Okay, cool. Angle C for the next one's really easy. I can just do 90 minus 23.6. So 90 minus 23.6, we get 66.4. Okay. I'm gonna go using this as my reference angle. This is opposite, this is adjacent, this is hypotenuse. So we'll call this CA. So I can do, if I want to find this first, CA first, I can do O and H. So sine of 23.6 equals CA over 25. To find CA, I just do 25 times sine 23.6, which gives me 10.8008, or just 10. Okay, that's 10 right there. And then the same thing over here, instead of doing opposite, I can do adjacent of hypotenuse. So it's cosine 23.6 over equals AT over 25. Do 25 times cosine 23.6. We get 22.90, or just 22.9. Cool. Let's see here. A ledge on a building is at a 27-degree angle to the ground at a spot 45 meters away from the base of the building. How high is it? Here's your angle. This is opposite. This is adjacent. Which trig ratio uses O and A? Tangent. So tangent of 27 degrees equals, I'm going to call the opposite x, just so I don't know it, over 45. I can multiply both sides by 45. X equals 45 times tangent 27, 22.9 meters. Okay, cool. What is the circumference of a circle with an area of 9 pi centimeters squared? Well, the circumference is 2 pi r. I got to find the r based off of this. Area equals pi r squared. So the area is 9 pi r squared. The pi's cancel out. What's the square root of 9? 3. Now if I plug it back in over here, 2 times pi times 3 is 6 pi. Done. Alright? What is the arc length of a section of a circle with a central angle of 60 degrees and a radius of 10 meters? Okay, so the arc length is going to be the central angle over 360 times 2 pi r. Okay? So in this problem, we're just doing the central angle 60. I'm doing 60 over 360 times 2 times pi, and my radius is 10. Right? This is just strictly all calculator work. So we're looking at 60 over 360 times 2 times 10, and then 3.33 pi, or if I times it by 3.14, I get 10.47, whatever answer they chose to give you. Sector area is the same exact thing, except that instead of 2 pi r, it's pi r squared. So this one they're giving us 60. It's the same exact problem. Pi, and my radius is 10 squared. Let's take a look here. We're doing 60 over 360 times pi is 3.14. Actually, let's do the other one. Same thing as the other one. So it would be 16.66 pi, or to multiply that by 3.14, I get 52.33. This would be meters squared, and the top one just be meters because it's talking about circumference. What's the equation of a circle with center at -2 and 4 and a radius of 3? Here's your equation: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. It's just the opposite. So the opposite of -2 is plus 2. The opposite of positive 4 is minus 4. Square root of 3, 9. Okay, simple enough. This gets the graph of a circle with the following. Just because I don't have time here, center is 1, 0, and the radius is just 1, the square root of it. You just go ahead and plot that around. Okay, super quick. Inscribed angle goes all the way back. That means this is half of the outside. So I can do 2 times this or half of this. Your call. I'm just going to do 2 times this. 31x plus 3 equals 192. So 62x plus 6 equals 192. 62x equals 186. 186 divided by 62, 3. Okay, good deal. Alright, part B, outside minus inside, so 175 minus 57. Divide that by 2, we'll get our answer. So 59. Last one I really want to show you guys, this one. This times this equals this times this. So 9 times 4x equals 8 times 4x plus 2. 36x equals 32x plus 16. If I subtract 32x there, I get 4x equals 16, x equals 4. I'll save the last one for in class, but I'm just running out of time. How you set this one up is 6 squared equals 4 times 4 plus x, and then you go from there. Alright? Alright guys, that's the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and as always, keep up the good work, and good luck. We're all counting on you.